Isn't this spectacular? It's a kelp forest, underwater areas filled with a type of large seaweed. Much like the trees on land, these forests play a big role in trapping carbon, although this is called blue carbon. Globally, marine ecosystems store up to 55% of the carbon captured by living organisms, helping to reduce the impact of climate change. But extreme weather events put pressure on our oceans and the abilities of their ecosystems. In fact, in 2011, off the Western Australian coast, we had a marine heat wave. And that marine heat wave rose the temperatures of the water for an extended period of time, causing a huge damage to our underwater kelp forests. Today, we are going to introduce you to a team of researchers working really hard at the University of Western Australia to reverse this process with an innovative technique called green gravel.
So this is a collaboration with the Wernberg Lab and my research group at UWA. So we're running a kelp restoration project off Western Australia, and we're really innovating this green gravel restoration technique. And what we're aiming to do is restore those kelp forests that were lost in the marine heat wave. So the kelp forests of Australia, they're actually formed, they go all along the southern coast, and they form what we call the Great Southern Reef. And this is globally a really unique biodiversity hotspot. So on average, 50% of the fish and all the seaweeds and all the species that live in that reef are not found anywhere else in the world. We're working in an area right now that is 12 hectares.
12 hectares.
The whole area that was lost in this heat wave is 100,000 hectares. So the challenge is really how can we scale up restoration? Some techniques in the past have involved scuba divers attaching individual kelps onto the reef. So we're developing and innovating methods that we can seed larger areas of reef. So when you dive in a kelp forest, it's very similar to a forest on land, where these are kind of the foundation of the ecosystem. They're forming these tall canopies, and then all of these animals are living within that space. So it's providing fish and small invertebrates, all the life that we see along the southern coast of Australia. A lot of it is actually supported by kelp forests. So we know that heat wave was kind of a 1 in 300 year event, but we know the temperatures are rising all along this coastline. What's innovative about our approach is we're taking warm adapted kelps and we're innovating a way to spread them across the reef at scale so we can future-proof our kelp forests.
So how do you reforest these areas?
Yeah, so unlike trees on land, you can't just dig in the ground and plant a kelp because they're actually attached on rock and on reef. So first we go out onto the reef with divers, and we find these large adult kelps. They'll be about 1 meter tall, and we can collect just the top pieces of them, and we can actually release the spores in the lab. We make cultures of those, and what we do with those cultures, we can keep them under red light for many years, and we can constantly be seeding, and then we can seed those on any type of substrate. So for example, this is us seeding it onto string, which we can wrap around different types of infrastructure as well. And this is the foundation of our restoration technique.
This project is made possible through a collaboration with WA-based company Canopy Blue. Together, they aim to generate high-quality carbon credits, supporting not just the marine life, but also our planet's health. The University of Western Australia is really ambitious in its goals. They plan to scale this research program, attempting reforestation for about 100,000 hectares of the reef. It's an inspiring initiative, not just for the restoration of our underwater forests, but also as a fight against the climate change.